Hello. I made it. Can you hear me? You guys can hear me, right? Maybe you can hear that. Maybe you can hear that. Today I had something special planned. I was gonna do this cool thing. I know normally this is a casual drawing show. This says the wet book. I finally came up with a name for my other sketchbook. By the way, the blue book. I've been drawing in this sketchbook all week, and I've really enjoyed this. This sketchbook is pretty good. I have to adjust my camera a little bit. But I had the idea about maybe doing some more stuff with color, and what I found out is at least on one of these, I really buckled the paper. So this is called the wet book. I haven't written the wet yet. Can you see that? Is this too bright? I don't know if it's too bright. So no guest today, although it would be awesome in the future to have Sideburns or anyone back. Today I wanted to do some demos of wash over line and line and wash. The problem with doing the demo is that it takes a while for the stuff to dry. So I pre-did some stuff, but I'm going to show you from the beginning how it's done. And then I'll go back and do it. So there's basically two ways to do it. There's line and wash, which is where you draw a line drawing first. Like I did this tree, and I did this little village scene or something. And you got to use the ink that's waterproof. If it's not waterproof, it won't work. Or you can go the opposite way, wash and line. And you start out and you're going to put some patches of color, and you have to kind of think about how you're doing it a little bit. These might look pretty random to you, but we're going to do some ink over these. And I'm going to show you a little bit about my thinking about it, or at least how I like to do it and what you need. So without further ado, hang on for a second. Okay. I had to check my sound to see if it was working. I have some real watercolors, probably somewhere. I was looking around. But I like these Japanese watercolors. This is the Sumi set, and it's all of these are just different shades of black, and you can see on the cover. So it's brown black, purple black, blue black, green black. The hell is that? Oh, yellow black. That's yellow black, and I think that's red black. Yeah, yellow black. There we go. And then this is a Gansai Tanbi set, and which I haven't taken great care of. But the thing about the Japanese watercolors is, watercolors are mainly thought of as coming in two flavors. You have your transparent and your opaques. Your transparents are real watercolors. The opaques are generally thought of as gouache, which I have some gouache over there. We might end up getting into the gouache today. I have they're behind me actually, because there's some cool techniques and stuff. But ooh, some yellow. The interesting thing about the Japanese stuff is it's the way watercolors are made. It's like you have pigment plus a binder, and I think in watercolors it's gum arabic, and then in gouache it's something else. It's some kind of acrylic binder, and that's what makes it itself. But on the Japanese ones, it could be anything. I don't know what it is. So I've heard it could be depending on the color. Like this malachite color right here, I'm pretty sure that's got actual malachite in it. And they all have these weird different traditional methods of getting that color together. Anyways, I got these on jet pens. It's a cool set. Like I said, I haven't taken wonderful care of it, but I do love them. Okay, so anyway, by the way, and because of the complications of this particular demo, I don't have any guests today, which means I probably won't even have any viewers, but I don't care. I'm trying to diversify my contents. So don't be too offended. So I'm using a big brush. This is a big square brush, and it's already a little bit damp. I've got some water over here. Let me bring my water over. And I'll tell you a little bit about my philosophy of how to do it. I'm not going to do any pre-wetting. Oh, and by the way, this is all watercolor paper. That's why I had to make a fake cover for this. It's like a Strathmore. It's like a Strathmore sketchbook, but I did like the cover on it, so I always got to do something different with the cover. Okay, here's, in my opinion, the secret when you're doing one of these is limit your colors. First of all, 2 or 3. They could be any ones, but just 2 or 3. So let's see what we got. I've got the whole palette, the whole range here. And you know, we could do some nature stuff. I was kind of thinking about doing some nature, but maybe doing some alien landscapes. Line and wash, usually you're doing landscapes. I mean, I guess you could probably use it for anything. So I like this olive color here. I don't think I've used that for anything yet. I'm going to use plenty of water in there. Oh, by the way, the reason these aren't really just watercolors. You see how how big the pans are? They're for big sumi like lettering, you know, for Japanese lettering type paintings, which are not really necessarily pictorial. They might just be for calligraphy, and that's why they're so big. You can fit the whole moppy brush in there. And like, whereas, you know, Western watercolors come in the little tiny pans, or maybe the half pans or whatever. All right, so I got this color, and I'm diluting it. And I'm just going to be just kind of random. I'm just going to put some stuff in there. And then I want to look for, once again, any other color. I like to look for something that kind of contrasts a little bit. And, you know, if you're doing green, you could do green and brown and say, okay, this is a landscape painting. Or you could be a little bit more unique, and I'm going to choose this blue, for example. That looks like a nice blue. And then maybe even some black. Have I got black in here? I do. I can't remember if this is black or it is black. All right, now you don't want to go too dark. I just put a whole bunch of black in there, but yeah, we don't want to go too dark. But you want to start thinking about, you know, maybe where the ground line is, or you know, you can start thinking about, are these going to be trees or something? Make sure you leave some white space too. And that'll be the top one. I'm going to do 2 per page in here. And then once this dries, you know, we'll go back and we'll get our ink pen. And our ink pen this time can be anything. It can be water-soluble ink, like a typical fountain pen ink. Or it can be, you know, if you have to have some nice, do I even have it available? Some nice, like, Diatramentus document ink, which is waterproof, or platinum carbon, which is waterproof. You can use that too. I think I got one of my pens over there has platinum carbon. This one has good old Kuiko Black Pearl, which is totally water soluble. Very, it's kind of a weak paint, really. All right, let's do something more yellow. We're going to do something a little bit more delicate. Ooh, look how bright that is. I said delicate, and yet look what I got. Put some green in there. And like I said, make sure you got white space. Make sure to be random with it. Got some random. And I'm going to put some contrast too. What can I contrast this with? How about some red? I got some nice reds. It's the darkest red I got. Okay. Green, yellow, and red is definitely one of the ugliest combinations, but you can think of it as mustard, ketchup, and relish. Actually, that the red is going to quickly go away. It's going to become an orange or a brown. You'll notice I'm not sloshing them together or mixing them up. They'll quickly turn to mud if you do that. You want to make sure that you let the colors be what they are. And they're still wet on here too. If I were to move this around with a brush, I would probably ruin it. But you can let the water flow a little bit. And this is a really cool trick that I also like to do if I could find it. Get a spritzer bottle. And this will have a really cool effect. So remember, we're not touching it anymore with the brush. We've touched it enough. We actually will go back after we do our line part. We can go back and touch it, but oh, you know what we could also do? Tell you what, let me get a little. We could do some lifting if we really want to. I've got so much paint right here. I can pick some of that paint up, and then we can splatter it back down. And you can be like more careful with your splattering. Like you could cover something, like we're thinking of them as blossoms or something like that. They could be flower blossoms. All right. All of those are looking good. Now, how do we then turn back, right? How do we then, I want to make sure that we didn't get any on our camera. We didn't. All right, we're good. How do we then turn back the clock, turn back time? Look at this. I'm lifting some of the color out. So we have this thing called color perspective, which is things that are further and further away or fainter and fainter in color. But if we do it really carefully, we're preserving our hard edges. Like this is almost totally dry already. And you can see it's almost like a silhouette of a tree, kind of, a little bit. Or it could be even like a dock or something, or some roots. This is nice and I could even give it another spritz. Another spritz. All right. Now, I don't have to wait for this to get completely dry. What I'm going to do is figure out a way to get back to one of my previous pages. I may have to put this aside for a moment. I want to get back to one of my previous pages. By the way, I just started this today. You can see my date on there. 30 Bay, the wet book. So let's give it just a couple of minutes here. Anyways, well, I can talk to you about some other stuff. I've got also, while this is drying, I'll show you a little bit of the Blue Turtle sketchbook. I can even put the title Blue Turtle on here. Whoops, that's upside down. These are El Cheapo Artist Loft books. I got them at Michael's in the US. And they're $6.99, even the big ones. Any size, $6.99. So you get this size, or you can get this size. Whoops. Same price. Same price. So, and it's the same amount of pages and everything. And it's 75 pound, 110 grams per meter squared. This is 5.5 by 8 inches. I don't know what that is in A sizes. What is this, an A5 or something? Or maybe this is that's a little bit larger. Anyways, I used to like the smaller sketchbooks more. Now I like the larger ones. All right, so what's in here already? You can see that I attempted previously to do some wet stuff in the book, and it makes the paper buckle, which can be a little bit of a problem. And I actually like these blooms and blossoms here. I was watching Steve Rude, and he's like, if I get a bloom or a blossom, I consider the painting to be a failure. So anyways, there's a Judge Dredd done with a nib pen. And by the way, not done very well, but I like it. I mean, this is one that looks good when you first see it, and then you start to look closer and you go, oh boy, I need some help. Some of these are just best left unsaid. This is when I was doing Comet the Duck. This is a very messy thing when I had a nib pen just actually break on me. And I never finished it. But we could kind of finish it. We could finish it a little bit. This is platinum carbon ink. And it'll dry very fast. This is when I was getting interested in the Phantom of the Opera, or one of the times. I've been interested in the Phantom of the Opera a lot lately. I like how the skull is just kind of hovering. All right. We don't have really much of a plan for that. I've been spending a lot of time trying to copy vintage comic panels. I want to learn that style. I couldn't tell you who a lot of this stuff is. This is definitely me trying to crib some Darwin Cook. But look at the technique here. It's really cool. Let's see if I can actually show you what this is. Why is this cool? Let me show you. It's cool because here's the eye, right? The nose is basically a shadow. The lips are drawn in, and it's very graphic, graphic design. That's what Darwin Cook is all known for. Everything else, this is a watercolor marker or a water-based marker. Everything else is the marker, and the marker is super subtle. Like there's not a whole lot to it, and so even the hair, it's just an outline. It's a negative space outline. But here's the cool part. This area right here over the eyes, I really like that shadow being right there. Okay, I swear this will get back to the watercolor here in a second. I'm waiting for it to dry just enough for me to turn the page. Hey, it's Winblock Customs. Hey, thank you very much. Yeah, thank you so much about the Judge Dredd, and I would love to see your stuff. Can't wait to check out your next posting. Everybody, Winblock Customs, he does, first of all, custom action figures, but also he's doing comics, and he's got his whole comic universe, and everybody should go sub to his channel and check it out. This was me. It wasn't a direct study of anything in particular, but I was really looking at Milt Caniff. And this is that Thea ink, which is Rohrer and Klinger sketch ink. And this is, you can use it in fountain pens. And you can also, I use this with a brush. You might remember, because I did this one on the last stream, I think. And I did some other stuff. Oh, for someone, Dick Tracy. Yeah, I love Dick Tracy. Chester Gould, one of the great ones. She does look a little bit like a Dick Tracy villain, like a villainess or something, or maybe she's a femme fatale for Dick Tracy. This is more trying to figure out, like, what is the not Dan DeCarlo, although I love Dan DeCarlo. What is the Darwin Cook thing? I even bought some, this is something I never do, by the way. Well, buying comics is something I always do. But I bought some fairly recent comics because it was Darwin Cook. I want to learn this Bruce Timm animated graphic style that he's got. I think it's really cool. I only found a couple of them. And they're not complete stories. And by the way, so I went back on and found via a certain website, I was able to read the entire Minutemen saga. And it's well written and everything. It's just kind of gross and degenerate. Yeah, there's a really good talk by Alan Moore that I recommend people check out. Everybody who loves Alan Moore, and I do. I love Alan Moore, but thinks that like Watchmen is the like the model that comics should follow, should check this talk out by Alan Moore, because he says no, that's not what it's meant for. He admits a couple of things. He says, first of all, I didn't really like superheroes, and I was trying to turn them into something else. I didn't realize other people would try and follow me. And he didn't realize, because in the end, superheroes are kind of innocent and probably didn't deserve that treatment. So Minutemen, this before Watchmen saga, it kind of immerses itself in the degeneracy. Anyways, you should definitely check it out. I think it's called Alan Moore on superheroes. I'll have to look it up. This is Mystery in Space. I might have shown this briefly. I got this one at the local comic store. It was in the $4 bag. But what's cool about this is, at this point when I get old comics, it's just whatever catches my eye. I like to get older stuff. But this one has Johnny Craig as the artist, which is kind of cool. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, what? Can you see it? Johnny Craig and JMD Mateus. Oh, Winblock says, I definitely see you rock that style of art. Yeah, I want to be a cartoonist. Like, Al Cap is kind of my hero, but I love Jack Kirby. I consider Jack Kirby to be a cartoonist rather than like a fine artist. And I think most people doing comics now, like the current look now, I've been giving this a lot of thought, are kind of more in the realm of fine artists. Like I was watching David Finch. There's no doubt that he is an incredible fine artist. I was watching Steve Rude, who I love, and who can do Kirby, and he can do, he can do Alex Toth, but he can also like paint a painting. like he's a fine artist. I don't really think of him as a cartoonist. I wonder if he thinks of himself as a cartoonist. And is there a difference between cartoonist and artist, like fine artist? I wonder sometimes. Robert Crumb, cartoonist, right? And I got a Mickey Mouse. This is a cool Mickey Mouse. Let me find out what year it is. It's actually pretty nice. It's on newsprint, so we know it's 1989. And this was like a Mickey Mouse anniversary special. This is Floyd Gottfredson. These early comics right here, the first week of dailies, these are all Floyd Gottfredson, and they're in color. And I think it's Floyd Gottfredson, even when he gets a little bit more advanced through the 50s. This was Mickey Mouse was an adventure comic, believe it or not. Yeah, I don't buy. Winblock says I'm the same way. I don't buy no new comics. I'm the same way. Yeah, absolutely. I even felt bad buying those before Watchmen comics, and they're kind of old. They're not super new or anything like that. I have to check what year it was. Darwin Cook died in 2014, 2017. I can't remember what year he passed away. Rest in peace. Love that guy. 2012. This is 2012. So this is still, it's 11 years old. But it still feels too new for me. Like it's just too new. This is the sepia ink, which is the Lily ink. This is more of the Rohrer and Klingner. And this is once again not a study of any particular image. I just I was trying to apply like the things that I learned about Darwin Cook to an image, and I kind of got it wrong. I got her face a little bit too pear-shaped, and then another one right here. And once again, I don't know if you can tell, really screwed up the nose, and I tried to hide it, which is what you do. And then this is a kind of a cool technique, and I'll probably show this a little bit later today too, if the stream goes on. This is a prototyping trick that you can do with either an alcohol marker and then a Sharpie, or you can do it with and then like a white. I've got a white gel pen, or you could even do it with like a highlighter. I did it with an orange highlighter over here. Where is my orange highlighter? So I did like with an orange highlighter over here, and it's a cool trick and it works. Like if you can come up with all kinds of cool designs, and then once you have your design, these aren't like finished drawings, these are just designs. Then you would go back in later, and then you would start drawing it for real, and you go, okay, now I've got this new design for a motorcycle, for a dirt bike or whatever. This is maybe another kind of a cool cycle. You can do and you do spaceships or robots or whatever else. I did a robot over here, another robot, another motorcycle. And then this is at the end of the night. One night I was just really bored, and I was just I did this with Sharpies. It's like Sharpies and an alcohol marker, I think, and pencil. This is where I I started to figure out that I was gonna buckle the paper more. And of course the Phantom. Love the Phantom. Trying to figure out some fashion type stuff. Same with her. My original of this, I had her with her hand on her hip, and I couldn't figure out the perspective for it, so I eventually took it off. And then this one I screwed up, so I just did that with a bamboo pen. I did another Supergirl, which didn't work out. And then I started just drawing with colored pencils. I just started copying some poses I would see. And those are pretty good to start out with. Maybe those will develop into something later on. Okay, by this time, we should be good to go. Yeah, look, see, it's completely dry now. It's not completely dry, but it's dry enough that we can turn the page, and we're going to... Okay, so let's pretend that these are the two that I did rather than those two in the back. Oh, glad you like those. Yeah. All right, so next we get a pen, and at this point, it doesn't matter what pen we use. You could use a Micron. You could use I have got this is a felt tip pen, which is like a Micron felt tip. My where's another one? My Micron pen is not the typical Micron. This is the PN, their plastic nib, which I really like. And then I have this, if it works. All right. So what we're going to try and do is you take a look at your image, and you see if you can figure out what's in it. So obviously there's a tree over here. And you start thinking about the white space and where the white space is, and see if there's anything that like suggests itself to you. Like over here in the white space here, this could be like a rock, maybe. And I could even look, do some looking online about how to make pine trees, how to draw a pine tree. And see what the colors suggest to you. You might see the light in there. Like the white is kind of a lighter color here, or you might even see maybe that's a shrub over here. There could even be some water. How do you pronounce water? Water, water, water. And the important part is, you know, when you do the wash first, you have things that are suggested to you by the way the colors kind of came together. Now remember that the further away things are, the lighter they are, like the lighter in color. Look for your darks and your lights. And then here's the fun part. Once you've got your image drawn, your ink part, you can go back with watercolor again, and then you can kind of try and seal up, like, you know, some of that look. Like, let's say I want to go back on my tree here. Hang on, let's see if I have a. Where's my paints? Let's say I want to go back on my tree over here. I could zoom in. And just add a little bit more of something. And you can use a smaller brush, a more delicate brush. So let's see what I got as brown. Yeah, there could definitely be some houses or some ruins, like a crumbling wall or something. Okay, this one right here is some raw umber. That's what I want. So let's do some raw umber. And every tree always has like a light side and a dark side. So you just figure out if that's going to be the light side or the dark side. And then you can also figure out, okay, well, I got the shadow on the wrong side there, but let's try and fix it. We're gonna have some shadows under the trees. And you be pretty subtle about it. You remember that you can't go too hard if it's far away, but if it's up in the foreground, you can kind of go a little bit more darker. And then, like my little bamboo stick. Sometimes I just turn the brush around. Whoops. Turn my brush back. Here's some green. And then if you want to, you can even lift some. Lifting it is just like kind of a damp paper towel, and it'll just lift some of the paint out. Or put some back in if you want. And you can use this to You can use this in comics to kind of do like a real quick background. Like you just throw down some backgrounds, scan these in, and you're good to go. All right, let's try the ruins. He said, okay, watercolor says old ruins with vines have grown. Looks like old abandoned civilization. Yeah, I think so too. It's this thing right here. Oh, this is my wrong pen. I think, well, this is a good pen to do it with. Let's do it with this one. We could even put some windows. Windows kind of are key because they establish the scale of what you're doing. And let's draw some vines. This could be an old dead tree. That was a great suggestion from Windblock. So what could this be? This could be maybe an old windmill, like maybe it's part of a windmill or something. And then there's another part of the windmill, but it's falling apart. And we can't see the whole thing because of and it just depends on what colors you use. You can make this kind of dark and foreboding if you use more, blues and purples. In this case, I did use some dark green. Oh, we could do like a weeping willow or like a big old oak tree. Let's do like a crazy huge oak tree. I forgot how to draw a weeping willow. I might have to look it up. It says, okay, yeah. Maybe a little bit of yellowish browns. Definitely. I'm going to add some yellowish browns in there. That is a good call. I remember when I was a little kid, my grandmother's front yard, they had this crazy tree. You could climb all the way up to the top. But the branches were really close together, but you could go all the way up. Oh, here's another structure of some kind. And you can see I've got some purple here, but it could be something. And then I've got this bright yellow. So maybe the yellow is flowers or like goldenrod, which is kind of like a plant that's got a nice yellow tinge to it. It's almost like I got two pictures in one here because over here it looks really bleak. And then over here I've got these kind of nice plants that are going on. Let's say that these are some bracken, like some azalea bushes. And you can see how random it is. Like when I did the page earlier, whoops. This is the one I just did at the beginning of the stream. It's super random. You know, you just kind of spoop, 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 and you just let it dry. And you can see it did some weird stuff already. Like this could be water in the middle here. Maybe that's a shack. These could be trees or something. And you get to decide the scale. You could be like close in. You could be kind of pulled back. All right, Winblock, have a good weekend. Have a great weekend. I will definitely keep an eye out for your post. I'm a big fan of it's kind of the Blood Pack universe, the Bloodverse. I don't know. He's probably got a name for it. But he's got like a whole pantheon of characters. There's like a whole group. It's and then it's got bad guys and everything. That is what I am into. I am the same way. I like to like when I create my characters, I want to have they have to have villains. Like you have to have the villain that goes with the character. Like what would Batman be without the Joker, right? Or what would Spider-Man? Spider-Man is just as easily defined by his villains. Spider-Man and the Green Goblin, Spider-Man and the Kingpin, Spider-Man and Sandman, Spider-Man and the Lizard. It almost makes me want to. Maybe this is water down here. Like this is. And we could even, if it's this water, maybe this is like some growth, some kind of plant that grows out of the water. So this could be like an abandoned farmland or something like that. Here we have like kind of a mountainside. All right, these two I went with the different colors. I went for more alien colors. Let's make these into alien landscapes. And I got this weird. This is like where some water kind of dripped down. Maybe there's how about this? We're gonna make this like a crashed spaceship, and it's kind of like sinking into the ooze. And then this is a tree, definitely. This little line up here. Maybe this right here. It's like a planet or a moon. Okay, I'm gonna actually like color in some black here, and then we're gonna use a white pen to pick out some details in the black. Oh, maybe there's mushrooms. Like this is a giant mushroom. sometimes when you're drawing, it's easy to imagine, in my mind anyways, it's easy to imagine the story that kind of goes along with it. So I'm trying to imagine like the crash landing of this ship onto this weird fungus planet. It's covered with these purple and blue twilight mushrooms. And then, hang on. I have a white pen. Or do I? I'm certain I have a white pen. Here's a white pen. Okay. All right, so just to make sure that the oh, I think I got my white pen dirty. I might be too premature with this white pen. I have another alternative, which is white Copic, which I have right here, which I can actually I could even put it on with a nib pen or a white brush. But I'm loath to do that for right now. All right, let's put in some more details on this alien scene. And we're going to do it with the same brush. Hopefully it's clean. Yep. And I cannot for the life of me remember which colors I was using. I have this color. Yeah, it's this color, I think. This is purple. So we want to get darker as we're closer in and then fainter as we're further away. So we're going to we could even go with a contrasting color if we really wanted to. We could go with like an orange or something, or a yellow. And then mostly water. We can kind of fake in mostly water. Not putting any paint on there. We can fake in a horizon line. Ooh, that's umber. That's okay. It's okay. We're just gonna. There it is. This is one where I'm not sure I left enough white in there. Oh, this is, what we should have is some shadows on the underside of the mushrooms. So poof. How about this? And then we can get progressively more bright as we get closer. I actually have a white paint in here, which is how you know it's not a traditional set of watercolors. It's not gouache and it's not watercolor. It's just Japanese watercolors. They're a thing unto themselves. We're gonna put some white in here. And I'll even put some white in the water. All right. Now let's do this pink one underneath. Hang on. What does the pink one suggest to you? Feel free to type it if you like. Hang on, I'm going to move my watercolors. Oh, shit. Keyboard is getting sat on here. Hang on. Oh, it's getting stuff on it. I think I can put it right there. Okay. Let's do the pink one. Looking at the pink one, it's different than the others. It's taller. I'm going to try some trees. But I'm not 100%. I mean, obviously, this is just kind of a building or a house or something. These are definitely trees over there, here, though. And you can go, graphic design if you want, and just say like a tree could be. I don't know if you saw that cartoonist kayfabe where they were looking at the mid-century modern animation stuff. It can be real simple. I personally like to do it like this. How I like to draw trees. And then this is another tree right here. You can draw lines that aren't really there yet, because you can always just bring them out when you bring the paint back in. Hang on. What am I doing? Here we go. 1 second. Oh my Lord. This could be like a bush of some kind. There's another tree back here. And at this point in the world of art, I don't think people should worry too much about not coming out good. Because no matter what you do, at least it's not going to be soulless AI art. Like, at least nobody will mistake you for that. All right, let's just say that this is a plant right here. And then there's some more plants right here. We got kind of a hilltop almost. What's this back here? Maybe this is a mountain, or... I like this yellow. I wish that the shape was a little bit more convenient, but I like how bright it came out, and it dried in a nice bright way. We got kind of I have kind of a problem in that I've faked in this entire water area over here. I just drew right over the top of whatever was there, which is not in the spirit of the assignment. Not in the spirit of the assignment at all, but that's okay. Because remember, as we said, we have other things that we can do. These kind of remind me of Japanese maples. Japanese maple is really cool. That's a pretty tree. Okay, you got to remember to go as softer, fainter line the further away you go, but in general. Oh, this could be the thing from the bottom could be like a volcano maybe or something like that. I don't know. We're gonna have to do some let's do some more paint now. Let's bring up some more paint. Now I know it is like a darker purple. Hang on. Purple pink, purple nurple, purple-y durple. It had purple and pink in it, and I think it's this pink. What's this pink? I think it could be that pink. Right? But let's say that this is the pink. And we're going to try and enhance what we drew. Like we're going to, try and like pick out some of those lines that we drew. So it's okay if we didn't quite get there, you know what I mean? If we didn't quite oh, I want some more purple in there. All right, let's just try and remember there's always let's do the shadow side on the right side. This is a different shade of purple than was originally on there, but that's fine. Purple is my favorite color to shade with, and I'm going to just admit right up front, I'm not great at color. Never have been. I mean, I've got plenty of color art supplies, and then I just don't use them because I'm bad at it. But the only way to get good at it is to do it a lot. So what do you do then? What now? That was kind of my feeling when I started doing comics a lot. I was like, all right, well, I want to do comics, but I'm not good at them. So, you do them a lot, and over time you will improve. I'm not saying you'll get great or anything like that. I'm not saying I'm great. But I am saying I have improved. I certainly have. All right. All right, we can use this foreground area. Let's put some purple in the foreground and then just kind of in fact, we can even use lots of water there. And then same deal here. Let's go ahead and shade the purple on these trees. I mean, the yellow on the trees. We could even kind of Bob Ross this thing, where we get some happy little trees that we're going to put in there. I don't know. This one, because we chose such weird colors, it's going to come out like an alien landscape no matter what we do, so it's okay. All right, and then using the faintest, just water, just use water, faintest possible line. That's not faint enough. You can make a background or like a horizon, back horizon. If you have to lift the paint, you can do it. I don't know if I like this white over here, so let's go ahead and cover that up. Okay. I'm going to lift a little bit more. There we go. So you get your darkest colors kind of up front, or your more saturated colors, let's say. And then as they go further and further away, they're lighter, fainter and fainter. And then finally, we can go back with some more ink. We'll go back and just draw some more ink lines. You can see it. The ink line I'm using is definitely water soluble because you can see I've completely obliterated it over here on the side. That's okay. It's fine. It's fine. All right. I have a couple of more line and wash techniques to show you. Oops, let me move the ink a little bit. So this is my water-soluble ink. And you could leave this as just no line, no holding line whatsoever, but because I've faded my side of my mountain here, I'm going to probably do something. I guess we'll see. And I like to preserve these areas of white, although I don't know if I've done a very good job with it. But anyways. All right, let's try and get this foreground area. Because it's the closest area, you could go as detailed as you want up close. Further away, you don't want to go detailed at all. You can even leave it completely undetailed. So this is some kind of alien plant here. All right. Okay. Let's turn the page. I got two more. These I use the my Sumi paints. These are this smaller set, which is they're all shades of black, and of course none of them are black, right? So that this is blue black and purple black, I think. And I love the blue black. I like how the black kind of drifted to the outer line. Let's start with that one. This one looks kind of bleak to me. What does that look like to you? I can see a house, maybe, right? I don't have enough variation here. I can see a silhouette of a tree. Maybe that's a gravestone. Maybe that's like a, let's try that. Let's do like some kind of Japanese, or it doesn't have to be Japanese. It could be any kind of tomb. But it's a tomb. That's what we're looking at. And I'll even use Espruar runes. Hang on, I gotta look up some runes. Earth. There we go. All right. We're gonna put some runes on the tombstone here. If I can figure out how to do it. And then there's our spooky. How about an angel up on the top of it? This one, I'm a little disappointed there's not enough variation in the colors here to give us a good sense of what's going on. But when we get to the overpainting part, we should have all kinds of things that we can do. Hang on 1 second. Blip. Blip. Okay, there we go. All right, let's get this tree too. So you have to kind of imagine where the branches are, where it's going. And despite the fact that it's got no color variation, we're going to repaint in some shadows on one side so it shades it a little bit. And we'll shade the tomb as well, maybe some of these tombstones. Are they allowed to have trees and graveyards? Do they grow there? Maybe not naturally. Maybe there's like pruned out of there if anybody sees a tree growing. All right, now we got to imagine like a path. Let's see if we can imagine the path that comes through here. And up front, there we go. It almost makes me want to do like a horizon line in the back there. And we could even kind of imagine, like, if, you know, this is our sketchbook, we can do whatever we want. We can imagine that the ground is disintegrating underneath because of the little splatters. You know, maybe there's tree roots and stuff. Maybe there's bodies falling out, or like coffins falling out of the ground here or down here. We could do that, right? I don't know if I want to draw that, but or we could even put it, we could say put it on the side of some water. Water. All right. Let's go back in with some more color. Let's see. Okay. I got a little palette I can use. This, as I recall, is blue-black. It's mostly blue-black. Might be some purple in there too. All right. First of all, we're gonna say that the sun is definitely coming down from this direction. So we're gonna like, oh, that's a little bit too dark. And then on the tomb, going underneath, and this is definitely the side away from the sun. I'm really liking this color I got, which is it's the blue-black, but it's diluted, and I think there's a little tiny bit of purple in it. But it's kind of a well, I used to say my favorite color, I guess it is still my favorite color, is Payne's Gray, which is like a light blue gray with some yellow in it. It's like got ochre in it. And I like that color a lot. This has got some Payne's Gray to it, a little bit, not a lot to it. All right, let's dabble a little bit. Because I'm using water-soluble ink, it's going to kind of melt my ink lines a little bit, which is fine. And then all the stuff that's happening underneath, that's going to be in shadow. And then this is just pure water, but I've still got paint on the brush, so it comes out a lot lighter. In fact, we can actually do this tombstone a little bit darker. It'll lighten up from there. All right, let's try to get some more color variation in our. These big planes of like no variation are not fun to me. Okay. So that's a pretty cool scene right there. We'll leave that for what it is. Now we'll try this one. All right, now with this one, I'm not even sure where I'm going to go with it. Hang on. All right. What seems to me when I look at this, I can see like an expanse of water here in the foreground. And this could even be, this could even be like a vehicle or something. Maybe it's like a hovercraft. And then around the sides of it, we've got some water. And this is like all polluted, like post-apocalyptic trash. like a twisted girder or something like that. These are more ruins. Let's do like a sewer pipe. And it's kind of spilling stuff out into this estuary here. And we have all these kind of mutant grasses and stuff that's growing up around the sludge that's getting poured into the estuary here. Okay, one of the things that I think will make this look cool is if we're able to, I don't know if we are, I don't know how permanent this paint is. We're going to try and lift some paint, some dried paint from this middle area. Actually, it does lift. See how it's getting lighter and lighter? I want to do like a hover effect underneath. Okay, let's try it. Just try it. Okay. Let's do some brickwork. And we could even use some white. Let's use some white to color the headlights. And we could even do I don't know if this will work, but we're going to try. We could put some white underneath. Oh, here we go. We're going to try it. White on the headlights. And I'm going to do like a white line right here. And then just kind of, ooh, almost there. That almost worked. Zoom. You know your spaceship's working out when you make the sounds while you're drawing it. All right. That's funny. All right, here we go. Oh, let's do some white highlights there. We could even do like some white highlights in the water. All right. All right. I need to still do some color so we can put some more color back in here too. I also want to darken this up. There we go. And this makes me like storytelling mode. I think this is cool. It's like this floating cemetery, and this is cool. I can see this vehicle exploring the ruins, and it gets to like this ruined estuary type area with some, you know, destroyed buildings, and it's still spilling sludge in there. Like I could maybe even put some sludge. So I got some green black. Let's see, I haven't used it yet. What if I had some sludge coming out? And then you know, kind of coming into the estuary. We should probably put a bit of a shadow underneath. I'm going to use the green black as the next color. And we could kind of paint in the negative, like we can go and say, you know, so we're enhancing the things that aren't there. Like I'll give you an example. I'm putting some green black on my brush, but then I'm dipping my brush to get rid of most of it. Let's say we do a negative tree. I got rid of too much of it. Let's do a negative tree. So we're not going to do the tree, we're painting the area around the tree. And we can do that all throughout here. Happy little trees, happy little negative trees in our post-apocalyptic wasteland. And if we've done it right, we leave this kind of halo of light around the our ship, and it draws attention to it. Or another thing we could do is, you see my little bricks? I could paint a brick or two. Not all the bricks. Just paint one or two bricks. All right. So that's our line overwash technique. And the only ones I have left, by the way, are the ones I did at the beginning of the stream, which are now dry. And we can do, I guess I timed it perfectly. However, I wanted to show you the opposite too. We only have 30 minutes left. So I have, this is ink and this is waterproof ink. This is I gotta wait till this dries now. Dang it. Give it a second. Give it a second. But we could do, how about if I do it like this? There we go. We can do wash over line, right? That's the other way to do it. And that's probably a good way to do it. I have, where is it? Let's use the same Sumi this same ink. And what we're really just going to do, I'm going to paint some of the dark areas. And I'm just going to focus on a couple of colors. I want to focus on, I want this to be a night scene because I got this nice lamp here. And I got this shadow here, but I want the lamp, like we could have color or light down below, which I could do in yellow. And leave white. And I messed up when I was erasing, but it looks fine to me. Kind of looks kind of cool. Let's pretend this is going to be the darkest area. Maybe that's the darkest area right there. Look how ridiculously large my brush is, by the way. It's gigantic, but that's okay. That's okay. All right, we're going to just add more water now because everything else is going to be lighter. In fact, that's too dark still. I kind of want this area to be kind of dark right here, this triangle in the corner. Everything else, I'm waiting for this area to be dry so I can paint over it. I want some of the windows to have light and then some of the windows to not have light. Like they'll be dark. So we'll know who's up. Who's up? All right, now we're just going to do, like that's going to be a dark window, obviously, right there. But the ones on either side will have some light. And I think the light has to be yellow and not the yellow black I have here on the Sumi palette. It's got to be like a regular yellow. Under the eaves, dark. Contrasting with the window, dark. But like everything else, nice and light. Okay, and then once you got that, then it's just a matter of you just get lighter and lighter as you go further and further away. In fact, we can go. This is almost like a silhouettes and stuff, you know. Under the eaves of the roof, darker, not necessarily dark, but darker. Okay. Now, hang on. Now, if we started to equalize, we want to redarken our darkest areas. I hope I didn't re-equalize. I think I probably did a little bit. All right, let's do this alleyways dark. This alleyway's going to be super dark. Okay. That's all looking pretty good, although it's looking a little bleedy over here. We can kind of fix this. This is paper towel. Never hurts. Okay. All right. Now let's do a little bit of yellow. And the yellow I has in this palette. And because we're going so contrasting, it might be a good idea to just call it like that's it. Like that's the only two colors we're going to use. And I got to worry about, you know, did I use too much? Is there blue still on my brush? You know, is my yellow going to turn out green? I don't want it to turn out green. I want it to be yellow, for gosh sake. My water is also hella dirty. All right, here's our one light. Let's do a light over here. That's looking good. And then the light's going to be down here as well, but I'm afraid of mixing it with this blue. So we're going to just be real careful. This leaves us the only problem left is what do we do with these roof tiles? Yeah, I don't know. I think we got to make them blue because they're in the shadow. They're in the shade of whatever it is. So we can go ahead and like just paint our roof tiles blue, but maybe a different, like as if they're a different hue. So it's a little bit dark, but it's going to be, this is wet paint. So when this dries, it'll look a little different. Now give it a moment once we do. Oh, see, I see a problem right there. the other side of the alley. It's not looking great. Life is challenged. All right, here we go. Oof. I just ruined my yellow. Maybe it's not totally ruined. What if I switched brushes? Or washed a brush? Hey, Peter, what if you washed a brush? All right. Anyway, part of me wants to oof. Look, I can highlight some of these roof tiles. Oops. There we go. And, by keeping your palette limited to just one or two color, 2 colors, 3 colors, I would go more than 4 colors. You're going to avoid the muddiness that can happen. Let's do this. And, you don't have to do perfection with line and wash because you're only kind of hinting at the color. It's not meant to look photorealistic. It's meant to look suggestive of something. At least for this one. I didn't even draw it very realistically. All right. And then we can leave some more water, some more yellow rather, in the puddles in the streets and the cobblestones. Maybe this window right here. Okay. It's not great, but it's a line and wash. It works. Let's take a look at how our other thing turned out. Oh, it turned out pretty good. I think I did get a little dip into something there. All right, as long as this isn't dripping wet, we're going to turn the page. I have a tree I drew. I drew this right before the stream. I got to give it a little bit. All right, here we go. How are we going to draw this one? I'm going to use this brownish black and the yellow black. And I've already painted, it's supposed to be a dead tree. I've already painted there's no, this is a lifeless area, so is this the yellow black? I think this is the yellow black. So this is what the Sumi E company thinks of. This is what yellow black looks like. I probably could have erased my pencil lines a little bit better. I didn't do that very well. Now I've given it too much saturation, so I'm kind of trying to peel some off, and then I'm going to go heavier on the front. And say like, we're going to Bob Ross this thing, baby. All right. All right, wait. Okay. I'm looking for the ground plane. I'm like trying to figure out where else we could put some of this. All right. Oofy doofy. Okay, now we can't get any darker. If possible, we want to get lighter. And it's okay to let it dry because that'll preserve some of the edge. Let's do some of the, we're going to make this the dark side of the tree, the left side. But once again, this is the opposite of what we were doing before. We have the ink first, and then we have the wash. And it does a different thing. Alrighty. All right, there we go. Now, I think a good color to add to this would be blue. Don't ask me why I think that. I just think it would be nice, like a blue-gray. Might be nice. And in the background, we could do like a really unsaturated blue horizon line. But let's add the blue. Let's add a couple of. We're gonna add a little bit of blue to the wet on wet here. And we're going to hope that it dries in there without totally screwing us all over. Let's hope. Let us pray. All right, here we go. Looking good. So now if we put blue in, it's just the blue. Well, it's not really just the blue. We got lots of nice white highlights. Like further down, I'm going to get rid of the highlights by painting over them, but I want the highlights, all the way further up and stuff. All right. Looking good. Okay. Now, let's let this dry for a little while. I could even maybe push some of this paint around with the other end of the brush. The non-business end. While this is drying, I'm going to wash my water out. As you can see, it's gotten pretty sucio. So I'll be right back. All right, we're back. I am nice and clean. Clean like my soul is clean. All right. Clean like my soul, baby. All right. I have some blue black over here. You know what I want? I want some sky blue, like some pale sky blue. I'm liking the look of this. Hang on, I'm gonna put some music on while we're waiting. I know I'm in the last 10 minutes of the show, but I'm thinking it's gonna take a little bit of time. Hang on for a second. We're gonna play. There we go. Music to watch paint dry to. Okay. So check out this blue. Hang on. That's what I was looking for. Sky blue. Looking good. I like that blue. All right. Why did I decide to go dark in front? I don't know, but I like it. I think it's a good idea. It was a good call. It almost makes me want to darken up that tree trunk just a little bit more. Give some shadow to it. That was purely an instinct call, but I like it. All right, here we go. All right. Now, I'm going to lighten it up here. All right. We have the option, once again, just to do exactly what we did with the other things, which is to bring the fountain pen back out and do some more lines on the top. Like I've got some more suggested plant life and growth and so on going on. What do I have after this? Oh, these are the ones I did at the beginning of the stream, so we could do these too. But I'm running out of time, so, and I can't turn the page because it's still a little bit too wet, just a little tiny bit too wet. All right. The bird is the word. They have this thing called Good Girl Art. Do you know what Good Girl Art is? Good Girl Art. Well, it's cute pinups. There's Bad Girl Art, and then there's Good Girl Art. And the Good Girl art is the cute pinups. It's the Dan DeCarlo style, I would think of it as. I have to find a couple of guides to it. Well, I'm gonna leave this. Let me leave this off. I'm gonna leave the lid off. Lucas with the lid off. All right. If I flip the page, there's something that's gonna smudge still. So I have to wait just a little bit longer. I know we're in the last 5 minutes. Can we do one of these in 5 minutes? I think we can. Oh, and the other option, these are watercolor markers. It's still watercolor in here. And so you have the option of using these like markers on top of your stuff as well. And really, you can use anything. You can use colored pencil if you wanted to, or watercolor pencil. Line and wash is kind of a cool technique, though. If my scanning was better, my scanning is El Succo. But if my scanning was better, I could probably get away with doing more line, like actually doing some real techniques in my comics. All right. You saw enough of me and my Good Girl art. All right, this definitely is a shack of some kind. It's almost like a Snoopy's doghouse. It could be like a fishing shack, you know? And up here, is this a tree? This could also be a tree. And they're kind of leaning over, and this is one of those cypress root type deals. All right. We're going to go very graphic design on this tree because we're running out of time. I almost ran out of my streaming allotment last week. So that's why I keep to the schedule, by the way, guys. You can run out of, like for StreamYard, you can run out of streaming allotment. Something I did not realize when I first started, and then I started to get these warning emails. All right, you're going to need to start paying for blah, blah, blah if you go over this certain time. Which I understand. I don't use StreamYards. I use StreamYard, not Streamlabs. There's all kinds of things. Actually, when I'm doing my miniature painting, when I'm downstairs in the basement, I don't have my computer with me, so I just have my phone, so I use Streamlabs on that one. And if they have a desktop version of Streamlabs, I would consider it. It's kind of cool. I do like StreamYard, though. They'll let me make my stupid intro and outro videos, which I have new ones for today. Maybe there's a bridge. Could there be a bridge? Footbridge, maybe? Which we could draw. All right. 7:58. Oh, this is a hidden in the very subtle texture. There's another tree. I don't know what I was thinking down here. Maybe some rocks or We could turn that stream to the side or something. Well, I have enjoyed the stream today. I make these outro videos and I use all kinds of clips on them, and sometimes someone's got a problem, so I don't want to get copyright struck or anything like that. The company usually lets me, whatever I'm borrowing from old film clips is what I like to use. But in the event that they usually give you a chance to like delete that part, like cut that part out. So we might have that situation today. I guess we'll find out. All right. I think that's it. Please like, follow, and subscribe. And there will be more fine art, although I'm a cartoonist, not a fine artist. Fine art in the future. There'll be more amazing things happening. And I will see you later.
Because all you of Earth are idiots.